Welcome to 3 and 3. Today we're going to be talking about the One Big Beautiful Bill Act and the top things that we see for potential growth from that bill: income tax rate extension, the expansion of bonus depreciation and R&D, and specific income expense deductions. So on the income tax rate extension, the key change is it made permanent the individual income tax rates from the 2017 Tax Cut Job Act. And those rates again are between 10 to 37%, and they're now permanent. And that prevents the scheduled increases this year in the income thresholds that have an inflation adjustment. So the impact on economic growth is again consumer confidence and spending. So it provides long-term certainty for individuals, encouraging stable consumer spending, and that is a major component of GDP at 70%. There are some work incentives. You're lowering the marginal rate can slightly boost incentives to work and reduce uncertainty. Businesses benefit from a more predictable consumer environment. So looking at the Tax Cut Job Act, it did lower, again, tax rates for all income groups. We're comparing 2017 versus 2018 by income group. If you look at the bottom 50%, they went from 4% average tax rate to, again, 3.4, and the top 1% went from 26.8 to 25.4%. So expansion of bonus depreciation and R&D. So the key changes is permanent 100% bonus depreciation. So business can immediately deduct the full cost of most new and used equipment placed in service after January 19, 2025, and that reverses a previous phase out. And the permanent R&D expensing. So this is an immediate deduction for domestic research and experimental costs. That's after December 31st, 2024, and reversing again the prior amortization rule. So the impact on economic growth, it could stimulate capital investment, dramatically lowers the after cost of new assets, directly incentivizing businesses to invest in machinery, technology, and facilities. It drives innovation. So R&D expenses frees up cash flow for innovation, enhancing competitiveness, some job creation and productivity. Increased business investment typically leads to higher productivity and new jobs, and it boosts manufacturing, specifically incentivized for production properties supporting domestic manufacturing growth. So improving the tax treatment of investment leads to the most economic growth, and you can see that in this chart. R&D expensing and bonus expensing are the best ways and the best bang for your buck. So specific income expense deductions. So the key changes were, and these are again temporary from 2025 to 2028, and they do have adjusted gross income phase outs. But number one, tip income deduction, up to $25,000 in qualified tip income is deductible. Overtime pay deduction, up to $12,500 and $25,000 for joint of qualified overtime pay deductible. And car loan interest expense, up to $10,000 interest on loans for newly assembled U.S. vehicles. And this new senior deduction, an additional $6,000 to $12,000 deduction for taxpayers age 65 plus. So the impact again on economic growth, the consumer should spend a little bit more, having some more disposable income, and that directly could impact the worker group and seniors. The sector-specific demand incentivizes purchasing key sectors like the domestic auto industry, and you have some short-term stimulus designed to provide an immediate, albeit temporary boost to consumer demand and targeted economic activity. So comparing the current law versus the final legislation, you can see the tax on tips, there wasn't any real deduction there. Now we have a deduction, overtime pay, auto loan interest, and the bonus deduction for older adults going from $1,600 for age 65 and older to $7,600. And again, $2,000 for unmarried, not surviving spouses for 2025, up to $8,000. Thank you for joining us for 3 and 3.